Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for being here. We have a brand new story to tell you today. Let's start. I'm a man, and Sarah is 29 years old. We've been dating for 5 years. To celebrate, I wanted to take a trip with her. I thought about the trip for a long time and told her about my plans. We chose to go to Colorado to ski, snowboard, and do other winter sports. The events looked great. This trip had been on my mind for months because I wanted to ask her to marry me at the end of it. Sarah forgot about me 5 days before the trip. 2 of her friends were asked to meet her there. I was mad because I wanted to spend our date alone with Sarah. It was very clear to me that this was just our trip. Sarah said that her friends had already made plans to come and wouldn't back out even though I told her I was worried. There was no way for me to stop her friends from coming, so I agreed to this. I wish I had fought harder about this. I thought that we could change our plans and I could still ask her to marry me in secret. I felt like Sarah ignored me in favor of her friends and we didn't have any alone time. Being in second place for 3 days made me decide to end the trip and go home. Sarah was upset when I told her why I had to leave. She told her friends what I chose to do. I was ganged up on. They said we were all having a great time. There was no reason for her friends to be asked, so she feels like I'm being rude by making her choose between me and them. Before this trip, I had never had a problem with her friends. I never made Sarah choose between me and her friends because everyone needs friends on their own. Everything is on my mind now that I'm at home. Before Sarah comes home, I have the whole day to myself, which is nice. Sarah and her friends think I'm being too dramatic, and that I killed the trip. I believe Sarah was insulting and rude to me when she did what she did and got her friends to pick on me. What a jerk I am for leaving the trip I planned for my lady when her friends showed up. Change. This trip was planned for an anniversary and to be sweet. I made it clear that our plans were just for the 2 of us. We've been on other anniversary trips together without her friends. We had talked about getting married before the proposal, so it wouldn't have been a surprise. Learn more. After being together for 2 years, we talked about what our future might hold. That was 3 years ago. To get married, travel, and other things. It's been 1.5 years since we moved in together. Both of us think that you should live together before getting married to see how the other person lives and to see if you get along. This trip was planned for an anniversary and to be sweet, so it was very clear what it was for. For our anniversary, we've been on other trips. I told her straight out that I didn't want her friends to come when they did. And I told her straight out why I was going. I didn't tell her I was going to ask her to marry me. We've talked about getting married before, and we both decided that we didn't want a big proposal, so she wouldn't have been totally shocked. Maybe I did something wrong because I didn't want Sarah's friends to know before I asked her to marry me. I wish I had talked to her friends quietly about why I didn't want them to hang out with us. I was stupid there. They had to know it was a sweet trip for an anniversary though. I don't know everything she tells her friends though. It would be too much for them to know about me and my secrets, so I hope she doesn't tell them everything. I wish that things were more even between her friends and me. During the trip I was with them, I think about half of the things we did together were for all 4 of us. The other half had all 3 of them in it. I could have followed them around, but that would have been rude and not fun. I also don't dislike her friends. I just don't want to hang out with her friends all the time. I've never told her she had to choose me over her friends. That would be unhealthy and not logical. But she has backed out of plans with me more than once in the past to hang out with her friends. When she has had differences in the past, she has rarely brought them up. Most of the time, about 98% of the time, we can work out our differences. She has her friends help with the other 2%. I can see why she might have asked her friends to come because she doesn't want me to ask her to marry me. She should have at least talked to me though. I don't want to make any more big choices with her if she is too afraid to talk to me like an adult and then change her mind. I can't make her marry me. She should have told me about her fears though. If she had any, having this time to myself is important to me now that I'm home. I need time to myself to gather my thoughts and sort my feelings. I didn't want to get angry with her on the way home. She has tried to call me twice so far, but I have turned down both calls. We would talk about this when she got back. That's all I told her before I left. People need to meet in person to have these kinds of talks. Anyway, I believe I deserve better. It looks like we'll find out what happens tomorrow when she gets home. Small changes. My friends are over at the house, and they have been watching out for possible problems in case her friends try to bother me. I'm so happy to have them. Second small update, Sarah's friends didn't bother me or stop by the house yesterday or last night. That's good. Sarah is still not home. I know what I want to say and have written it down. What a jerk I am for leaving the trip I planned for my lady when her friends showed up. I made the choice to end this whole relationship. My best friend and I made plans for me to stay at his flat until I could find my own. I packed my passport, clothes, and other important things. When small problems arise in a relationship, they often lead to bigger problems in that relationship. The main reason I broke up with her was because I knew that her friends would always be more important to her than me. Sarah has put her friends ahead of me more than once and canceled plans with me to spend time with her friends. I lied to myself for years because I wasn't ready to face the truth. I thought she would change, but this trip made me realize that she will always be better than me. Sarah told me she would change after I told her how I felt several times, but she didn't. Sarah got home late yesterday. I told her I had a lot to say and wanted to finish my notes before she spoke or tried to cut me off. I asked Sarah how she thought the trip went first. She said we all had a good time and would remember it. I planned this trip so I shouldn't have to feel like the third wheel in my own relationship. I then asked you why you invited your friends in the first place. You knew this was our anniversary trip. Her friends had never been to Colorado before she told them about the trip. She thought it would be fun for them to come to Colorado with us. I then said that I didn't know her friends were coming until a few days before. If they just came and did their own things, that would be one thing. But when everything turned into a group activity, that's something else. I agreed to be in a relationship with one person only. Did you know that I was going to ask you to marry me? That was my last question. Sarah said she had no idea. That she was going to ask never crossed her mind. She said that if she knew, she wouldn't have asked her friends to come, but I told her that telling you would ruin the surprise. Sarah begged me to stay with her because she thinks things will work out. She didn't want me to waste 5 years on this one bad trip. For years, she kept saying she would change how she treated her friends, but she never did. In the end, this is what I left Sarah with. You clearly don't have enough room in your heart for both your boyfriend and your friends. I love Sarah very much, but I can't stay with someone who doesn't respect me enough. I drove to my friend's house and left Sarah alone in the house. I'll check into how to remove my name from the lease and make plans to get the rest of my things. I'll give the ring back this weekend. Added to from Up's notes. She stayed back in part because I told her I needed to be alone at home and think. I know that couples shouldn't run off after a fight, but I needed some time alone to collect my thoughts. She also didn't ask me if I was still going to ask her to marry me. She got mad when she heard I was going to, but she didn't ask. I wish that everything could have suddenly been better because I like fairy tales. Some things can be changed, but Sarah didn't do anything to make things better. I told her I'd text her when I was ready to go get my things. I've blocked her. People shouldn't put their friends ahead of their long-term partners in my opinion. Both are possible. But the love between friends and a partner should be equal. If I had made her choose between me and her friends, I would have been bad. Everyone needs relationships and friends besides a love partner. But not putting the partner first is not good at all. Going through a relationship right now would make me less happy than being single and happy. I have to say that a lot of people in the comments and private messages told me to give this relationship another chance since we were together for so long and wanted to get married. The sunk cost argument is being used by these people. I think it's because they don't want to be single, so they put up with a bad partner who doesn't love or respect them fully. They have too much faith that their partner will change. They have to wait a very long time for their dreams to come true. I believe that more people should learn how to be single. It's okay with me if I find love at age 60 and get married then. Last update. Hey everyone, I got my things from my house over the weekend. I'm glad I didn't bring too much or big stuff. It was fun to talk with Sarah about our relationship and the trip. Sarah said she was going to meet with a therapist and work on being a better partner. I'm not against getting back together with someone years from now, but I have no plans to be one of those people who is always on and off. It's okay if life brings us back together. After getting back together, people need to be apart for months or even years in order to grow and change. Before we got back together, I didn't promise Sarah that we would, because I thought Sarah should change on her own. Not for me. Thanks for seeing. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Look for more videos like this one. Have a nice trip.